Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Pam. How are you?
Good.
สวัสดีค่ะ That means hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night. All of the above.
I love that. Here we are at your Asian Mint restaurant in Richardson, Texas.
Yes.
As you know, I've told you how many times that I love pad thai. And so, did I ever tell you that when I lived in Los Angeles, we used to always go to this pad thai place?
No.
I could never find one now living in Dallas that was as good as that pad thai.
Wow.
Until I met you.
Really? Oh, I'm so excited.
And I came to your restaurant and I'm like, I have finally found the best, and I'm not just saying that, because I would not just say that, but the best chicken pad thai I've ever found.
Oh, thank you.
And I know you're what, number one restaurant in Dallas for your
Thai restaurant. Thai restaurants.
Restaurants.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's
Four.
Four restaurants. Wow. Did you know that 60% of the restaurants, and then I think it's something like 80% of the restaurants in 5 years do not make it? So during this pandemic, I can't wait to tell our guest how you got started. So tell us about yourself.
Oh, okay. So how did I get started?
So you were born in Texas.
I was born in Texas, but I grew up in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm a half Thai, half Texan, and just have a big love of food and to serve people. It's just kind of super innate in me, and when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life after college, after, serving and working in restaurants, going to culinary school, singing in a band, I said, you know what? I want to do something with food. And then I met my husband at a karaoke bar here in Dallas, Texas. And we just kind of have this common bond around food and serving. And we opened it and we said, you know what? Let's try it here. And if it doesn't work, then we'll go back to Thailand and try it there. 16 years later, we're still doing it.
Oh my goodness, 16 years. So, but you were born in Texas, then you moved to Thailand, correct? And how long did you live there?
16 years.
Okay.
I lost a bet to my mom when I was 16. So my mom's American, right? She said, you need to at least learn to speak, read, and write English, one of your native languages. And I was going to an international school at the time, but all the students also spoke Thai, and I came from a Thai school, so I can read and write Thai. That's really my first language. And she said, hey, if you can at least speak English at home for 1 year, then I would not have to ship you across the sea to learn a language. Obviously, I lost the bet. It's been the best thing ever in my life. But she was so smart. So she said, go for summer school. Go test it out. See if you like it. And we'll see how it goes. I fell in love. I was in the boarding department. It was an all-girls school here in Dallas, Texas. And I went home and I told her I would love to come back. So I went, finished up school in Thailand, and then came over for high school as an ESL student, English as a second language.
Oh, wow. So, me being born, raised here, how is that to come over here not knowing the language in America and the opportunity, and then having, being in high school? Were you scared? Were you afraid? Are you a courageous person to do that? Take risks? Or?
I don't know. Okay, that is such a good question. So now that I'm thinking about this, when I went to Thailand when I was 1 or so, my, I guess, native language at that time had to be English, right? So they put me in an elementary school a couple of years in. And I did not understand any Thai. Like, I actually am feeling this emotion vividly. I was so scared because people were trying to talk to me. The teachers would come over and try to talk to me, but I did not know how to communicate in Thai.
So you look Thai.
I do.
You look Thai, and so they're assuming you know how to speak Thai, right?
To them, I look foreign.
Oh.
To them, I do not look Asian or
okay.
Thai, which is so interesting. So I'm here, I'm like a chameleon in a way, you know, being this half breed or like mixed breed. I like to call myself an Asian fusion. So if I'm around a lot of Asian people, I look very Asian. If I'm around Caucasian, I look very Caucasian because that's like my two, you know, bloodlines. So yes, funny enough, I remember very vividly during nap time, I would be crying because I was so scared.
Oh, wow.
So I think having done that so young has probably built my flexibility, my agility, and learning to adapt. Because I do also tell my mom often, even my husband now that we have kids, I said, I do not want my kids to go to just one school. I believe that I am who I am today, being able to communicate and talk and just be present to anybody and anywhere, because I have gone probably 3 or 4 schools in my life, and those transitions are so hard. But it just makes you so much stronger. Like you said, you like hit it right on the nail. It builds your character. But in terms of when you were saying leadership skills or any of those skills, I learned those, I believe, at the Hockaday School when I was here. It's a very supportive community. I was surrounded, I feel like the world, because there was a lot of international students who were in the boarding department with us, and they were extremely supportive. And I ran for offices. I actually started, I remember, a recycling club.
Oh my goodness, back then, huh?
Yeah, this was a very long time ago. No, not that long. And I ran for like the president for the international student body, something like that. And so
I have a feeling you won.
I was that for a year, and it was amazing. So I built that. It's just, you know, maybe it's just builds upon experience and experience of experience.
Because I remember when I went to one school and then switched in the 7th grade, and I can remember that day exactly walking in, meeting these strange girls, and they're my best friends today.
Right?
I'm still best friends with my girlfriends from grade school.
But
all those transitions, it sounds like really you needed that background to be in the restaurant business.
I guess so. I'm sure a lot of other businesses also apply, right? So this is a virgin Thai Mai Tai, and we top it off with a beautiful butterfly pea extract, and it's PEA, not PEE. I have to always say that. Cheers. Fresh pineapple juice, and also some lychee juice, which is a tropical nut, lychee nuts, which is one of my favorite fruits in the whole world.
Oh my gosh, it tastes fabulous.
Very refreshing.
No,
like we're on the
you
beach
need
now.
that. I know. I feel like we're at the beach. And I think that's what really makes your food so special, is that so many of the places, we're here in Dallas, but so many of the places seem, I hate to call it Americanized, but like you just naming all those ingredients and making all that special touch, I think is what really makes it so authentic.
Thank you.
So the food that you cook, obviously, to me, if I went to Thailand, which you've been several times, and I want to talk to you about your travel trips that you're offering, you know, what you're doing. But a lot of the food is so authentic that I don't think it's in your typical restaurants, correct? I mean, that's what makes you different than the 10 million Thai restaurants in Dallas or throughout the country.
I would have to say our secret sauce, maybe people like to ask, is that we keep everything very fresh. We don't over-season a lot of our dishes. I'm going to take you back 15 years again. 15 years ago, not that many people knew what Thai food was all about. If you wanted Asian cuisine, it was Chinese takeout, right? And I started off that way. I'm like, I'm gonna create a menu, and we actually label our restaurant Fresh Asian Fusion, and it's not called a Thai restaurant.
Okay.
But once you get to know us, you know I'm Thai, our whole crew's, you know, Southeast Asian, whatnot in the kitchen. And it's because people didn't know what Thai food was all about. And I said, you know what, we need a Thai restaurant-ish that people would want to come in and try. Calling it Asian fusion, I started people off with the Mongolian beef, the kung pao chicken, the orange chicken, the lo mein, all of these typical Asian Chinese dishes that you have come to love. And you came in and tried my version, which I kind of, kept it a little bit cleaner. And once you got hooked on that, I said, hey, why don't you try some pad Thai? He's like, what's that? It's just a noodle dish, it's really flavorful, it's really fresh, and they try it and they love it, and it's like their favorite comfort food. Because if you think about it and you look at it, it almost resembles like a bowl of spaghetti. Right?
Right.
The red sauce and the noodles, but you get a lot more of different flavor profiles from the tamarind, and then the fresh vegetables, the crunch of the bean sprouts, the protein, the chicken, the shrimp, whatever you decide to put in it. And then I would say, hey, try our fried rice. And they'd be like, why is your fried rice different from Chinese fried rice? This is Thai fried rice. I'm like, once you go to Thai fried rice, you'll never go back. It's just a lot lighter and fresher, and just a lot of so colorful if you think about it. So what I'm trying to say probably is I wanted to bring the Thai food that I grew up with to America, which is, to me, very modern style. If you look at our decor, even our plates and our decoration, it's very clean. I even had a reviewer called us like the Apple store of Thai food, like white chairs, white tables, just very clean, fresh. You see the food, it looks amazing. You taste it, it tastes fresh. And you kind of brought that together too when you asked me that question. All these questions I haven't had in a while.
I'll ask you one that I'm sure you've been asked before, but your Nikky Feeding Souls is one of your trademarks on all of your social media. And when you come in here to the restaurants, I really want to know the meaning and background of that.
Absolutely. So this happened a couple of years ago. I think it was around 13, 14, after I had my daughter. And I had this revelation of, you know what? The restaurants are doing great. My staff is having an amazing time. I need to step up, step out so that they can step up and step in. And with that, I said, what is it that I love to do? I love to feed. I love to serve. I love to share. I love to teach. I love to travel. I love to eat. I'm like, how can I put that all together? And it kind of birthed this idea of my mission now, which is to inspire people through food, culture, and travel. And that's what Nikky Feeding Soul is all about. I will feed your soul, one way or another through my favorite things. And like you mentioned, I do culinary trips to Southeast Asia. We started off in Thailand, obviously, and I do the cooking classes. I have just started last year creating a sauce line, bringing in products from Thailand that I love, that I know that everyone here would also enjoy, and just kind of.
And you're also packaging them yourself.
I am.
And is that part of your virtual cooking classes too? But I know you have the pad Thai and the kits.
Yes, so it is a part of our cooking classes as well. And also anybody here who lives close to any of the restaurants and they say, you know what, I want to make this at home. Make it a whole experience, because I believe the heart and soul of even a household is in the kitchen. We all want to hang out around the kitchen, but you might be intimidated to make pad Thai at home because you think it's so complicated. But I create this beautiful packs, and you can make it in like 3 simple steps, and it's super fun. It smells amazing in your house, and everybody gets to enjoy it together.
I love that. And that's what I did was since I love pad Thai, came here to learn, and you simplified it because it seemed overwhelming. How do I get the noodles? To me, the pad Thai sauce is the key.
Absolutely.
And I'm so happy that I know at the cooking classes, everybody was fighting for your bottles. I know you even ran out because it's so good, and that makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. But I also you brought up that you have 2 young children, and knowing a restaurant is so difficult to operate, let alone 4. But how as a mother, 2 young kids, How do you do it? And you look great. You look,
Fresh.
fresh. You
Still
look nice and fresh.
I got cleaned up just for you.
First
Pam.
of all, managing 4 restaurants and managing employees, and it's a 24-hour. Somebody complains about something. It's all about that. What do you do? How do you handle it? What's your key to success on that part?
It's not easy. Everything you have to delegate. That's a lesson that I learned once I started having real kids. My 4 restaurants are my first 4 kids, and then I have 2 more. So technically I have 6 kids. A lot of them have now turned into teenagers. But it really is about the team, the people, my staff. I call them my mentees and my mentors. And I would not be here or even being able to sit down with you and look fresh without my team. I think about them every day. I send them great gratitude messages. I'll, text message them in a group just to let them know, thank you for continuing my love and my mission to serve and to feed people. And when we do hire, we also make sure that they are in alignment with our value, which is really important. It's not about the money. I can attest to that. I don't run even the financial stuff. That's not my thing. But I actually run it out of love, out of care, and it's always about the customer's experience, which we call our Mint Fanatics. And it's just, it's a culture thing. I think that has really been the thing that kind of holds us together and keeps us together and on the same path. But it's my team. It's also my family. It's my husband and my mom. We don't have a nanny. My mom is kind of technically my nanny, and they are great family people as well as but I would say they are way better at being, the parents at home. And I learned this from somebody not too long ago, another woman entrepreneur, and she said, you can't continue to have mommy guilt because I used to have that. I still have it.
Yeah, we all have that.
Still have it. I can't say used. But, when you have really young children, especially when I just had my kid, I was like, what do I do? I want to be at work, but when I'm at work, I'm worried about the kid. And when I'm at home, I'm worried about work. And it's just one of those moments where you say, you have to give yourself grace. You have to understand and trust the people that you leave your business to or your kids with, that they are taking care of them at their best ability. And you have given them the knowledge, the know-how, the coaching to be able to handle any situation that comes up in the manner that you would have done it yourself. So you can sleep good at night, right? So yeah, it is not easy, but it takes a village. It takes a lot of people to be able to do what we do, but also we have to be on the same path and with the same values.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. So you've opened your restaurants, you've created products, you have a virtual cooking class, you have in-person cooking classes, travel. You've done a lot, which I just love. What else is on your bucket list? What could possibly, what I would love is just, to see you on some of the, you do national TV shows, local TV shows, but what is on your bucket list?
I think I am still on this version of myself. I like to call it maybe version 4.5 or something, that I am still on a mission to continue to feed people and inspire. And how can I do it and reach, as many souls as possible? And I kind of like what you said. Is it online? Is it a network? How can I share that? So I'm exploring those opportunities. And I'm really having fun. So my word of the year is fun. And I'm only going to do it if it's fun. And fun can mean a challenging fun, right? Trying to figure out how to get a product in the supermarket, or how to create a sauce, or how to create a new type of cooking class. That's fun for me. So as long as it encompasses fun, we're all good.
So finding out what fun works.
Yes, fun work.
I like it even, flying on an airplane when we used to be able to do that all the time. and on the TV in front of your screen, I always loved watching the cooking shows
Me too.
on the airplane.
Me too. Especially when you're traveling somewhere and they have like the destination shows where you're like, here's a tidbit on where you're going, or here's a tidbit on like 5 other countries that you can go visit. Like, where can we take a detour at the airport? Yes, I love those. They're so fun.
I know. Always have fun. I wanted to ask you, everybody always dreams about opening a restaurant. And I don't know if I ever told you.
No.
But I thought I wanted to open a restaurant. I have no idea why. So I applied at Brinker International, which at the time owned 7 restaurants. And then I found out quickly once I worked there, I ended up going into property development, developing 50 chilies from the ground up. I quickly found out that they haven't narrowed down to what size straw, what size table, it was overwhelming. So what advice would you give, since my notes say 80% of them go out of business in 5 years? What would you advise?
That's scary. It is very hard, so be prepared. I was working 20 hours a day for a couple of years probably, and once it's your business. It's one of those businesses that don't close for any holidays. They're open for all the holidays. We don't open for all the holidays because I do believe that's in our value, but most restaurant businesses, you will assume that they're open, as well as they're open all day and on the weekends. It's not a 9-to-5 job. So as long as that's something for you, you're ADD enough that you need something to be doing all the time, the restaurant business is for you. But it is hard, and you gotta love it. You gotta have the passion for it, and just stay strong and go work at a lot of different restaurants to see which kind and which type and what style that you really, really love, to make sure, because there's so many types and styles. Is it a franchise? Is it your own? Is it delivery only? Is it a ghost kitchen? Is it takeout? Is it dining? Is it full service? Is it quick serve? Is it 5 stars? Is it 1 star? There are so many options, and there's a fit for everyone. I don't like to discourage people to not follow their dream if that's their dream, but just be prepared and actually have a really, really good team. You need a team to make your dream come true. That's actually one of our values. Teamwork to make the dream work while having fun in the process.
I like that. This is a side note, but I always wonder, how do you find all those good employees? With the competition, within Dallas, since we don't have no beach and we have no mountains, we have to eat or shop. So how do you find your employees? You have a secret? You may not want to share your secret.
It's word of mouth, and I think most restaurateurs do know this. Funny enough, we have found that the best employees that come and stay with us are the ones have been referred by other employees.
Okay.
They have to make sure that they recommend somebody that they know would fit in the culture and that they want to work with, and they have to vet them. We actually do an incentive. Say if you bring somebody on board and they stay for at least 90 days, if they pass the time period that we know they're going to hang out with us, then you get a little something from us. And, that's a little encouragement for them to continue to be thinking and looking for somebody that they want to work with and that they think that they could grow and have fun with us.
Thanks for sharing that. And I always I've been wanting to ask you this, but your signature earrings.
Yes. So I was picking out what color I wanted today.
Which I think I love your branding and your signature, but your earrings, every time I see you on the TV shows and presenting. So do you have a reason or how that came about?
I don't. Funny enough, I love color. And I don't like to normally also, should not have this on my arm, but wear a lot of jewelry because I'm in the kitchen. I normally am not full out, but earrings are one of those things that, somebody looks and it brightens their day, just kind of like what you said. These are super light, and I found this lady in Thailand at the JJ Chatuchak weekend market. Super entrepreneur, makes them, actually employs people, tribe up in the northern part of Thailand, even the materials. And I thought it would be really cool if I could represent other women entrepreneurs who are supporting their community and just showcasing how beautiful it can be, and light and fun, and just inspires you.
I know, I
to
love
say,
that.
you know, it makes, wow, she's so bright and happy. And,
Right.
you know, it's just fun
Yeah,
again.
what are you doing to be all happy and all that? And I know one other thing, you are such a giver, and I read that you give to more than 100 different charities and organizations. Can you just name a couple of your favorites?
I would have to credit that. I believe all restaurants are big givers, and you know, we have a lot of clients and customers who would come to us all the time, right? Can you donate to our school? Can you donate to our charity? Can you donate to our organization? And I always say yes. You know, you support me, I would love to support you in any way I can. You help spread the love. So we do a lot of that. I'm a part of a couple of boards of the Dame d'Escoffier International here in the Dallas chapter, which is an organization of women in the hospitality industry. And we do functions and events where we raise funds for scholarships for other women, young or old or whatever, could be any transition, to be able to come in and enjoy and join our hospitality industry. And I love that one very much. It's a great group of women from all around the world that we support this mission. I'm also a part of the Greater Dallas Restaurant Association that I support, and my arm is really education. I always think of this quote or saying, and I can never ever get it right. It's like, you can give somebody a fish, or you can teach somebody how to fish. How do you say that one? I'm so bad at this. So I'm all about the education. I can feed you, but let me teach you how to cook. Mm-hmm. You can go have a career. You can have a job. There's a restaurant around every single corner. I believe everybody needs to work in the restaurant at least once in their life, whether front of house.
Yeah. I worked at Arby's when I was 16.
How was that?
It was a great experience. You learn about I tell everybody that too. Go work fast food, go work in a restaurant. You learn customer service, how to deal with money, how to deal with complaints, how to serve people, all of that. Multitasking. We had to cook in the back of the house.
Being on time.
Being in the front of the house, and just, it's a lot, but everyone needs to experience that.
Absolutely. And also I realized that the restaurant industry often is like the first job that a lot of people have. And we get a lot of the younger generation, and we get to mold them and mentor them. And even though I have kids coming in, you know, maybe from UTD down the street, and they want to be an engineer, and I would tell them, go be an engineer. But while you're here, I'm going to teach you all these skills that's going to make you like shine for when you are doing any of your interviews, because maybe most engineers are introverts, right? Mm-hmm. This is gonna bring another side of you out, and they're like, wow, Nikki, I've never thought of it that way. And I'm like, guess what? You're gonna be hosting it, you're gonna talk to about 100 people, and you're gonna get out of your comfort zone. And they practice, and they don't think like, okay, I'm doing this beyond than just today. I'm doing this for my future, and they have fun with it. I keep saying fun. Yeah, we gotta have fun, right? So yes. Did we get off topic? Sorry.
No, we were talking about, I guess, working in the restaurant business.
Working in the restaurant business.
And I have already told you my wish. I drive 30 minutes to come down to your closest location from me. So sometime you'll have to open up one up north in your spare time.
One day. I never say never. I feel like whenever I say never, it happens. But I will never say never, because it also happens, and it's always for the greatest reasons. So whenever anything comes up and about, so you'd let me know.
Okay.
You're in the business.
I'll find you the right
you gotta tell me.
Side. Mm-hmm. Well, I wish you, thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule.
Anytime for you.
Love your food, and thank you for sharing with our guest. You're so inspiring. I cannot wait to make a trip to Thailand, and only to go with you.
Yes.
After seeing all those pictures, especially those water and that boat you were on, and
the videos on YouTube.
Knowing how to go in the village and do all that. Yeah. So, but cheers.
Cheers.
Friend. Yay. To many more.
Oh, thank you. I have to say สวัสดีค่ะ again, or ขอบคุณค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ means thank you ขอบคุณค่ะ
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 Okay.
ขอบคุณค่ะ